Hey, greetings from Las Vegas. After 7 long months, pro football is back. It's week 1 of the season. The teams are ready. You guys are ready, and so are we. Beat the Odds starts right now.
From our Las Vegas studios, this is Beat the Odds, sponsored by Superbook Westgate Las Vegas.
All right, welcome to the party inside our Las Vegas studio. I'm Dave Hall.
And I'm Mariah Janos. Last time we saw pro football, Patrick Mahomes was raising the Lombardi as Kansas City beat Philly in a classic title game.
Such a great game. Now, we've seen a lot of changes since then. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is now in New York.
Yeah, Carolina drafted Bryce Young at #1, and Jimmy G brought his $1 million smile to Las Vegas.
Calm down, Mariah, calm down. Some things haven't changed. Teddy has the same haircut.
Yes.
Jack has the same tawdry jokes. And hopefully we have all the same great content you guys are counting on, including week 1 betting trends, things to do and not to do. Plus, Teddy and Jack will unveil their best player props and best bets of teams this weekend.
And I will dive into a betting phenomenon we're seeing in the college game. 2 words, Coach Prime. Plus, Brandon Marshall is back talking about the one defense he thinks will dominate this season. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm a busy girl. Dave, over to you.
All right, thanks, Mariah. Back with the boys. And yeah, I mean, Teddy's haircut, just spot on.
When you're that good looking, you don't have to spend a lot on hair.
Over under, Jack, on how often Teddy gets the haircut. I'm setting the line at 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't care that much. I don't know. I mean, he's a good-looking dude with longer or shorter hair. I've got bigger problems. My wife said, I'll see you in February. I think she moved her boyfriend in. So we've got bigger problems right now.
Okay, we'll talk about that during the commercial break.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks is a good number, by the way.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's talk some numbers week 1 betting-wise, you guys. Talking, I guess, big picture strategy. What do you guys do on week 1?
Well, I mean, for me, week 1 really stands out in the sense of slow and steady wins the race, okay? We understand we're all excited. Everybody's pumped up this week, as you should be. Pro football is back. But this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not about trying to break the bank week 1. It's about trying to make a profit throughout the course of the season. Let's not forget, week 1 lines are very unique because they've been out since May. Since the draft, these lines have been out there. So the wise guys have been betting into them. The public's been betting into them. It's a tough market. Be patient. Not that there aren't opportunities for week 1, but don't blow your whole bankroll on the first week of the season. And
we'll get into some of those opportunities a bit later. Jack, how about you? What is your overall week 1?
Yeah, I think it's important to not forget about all the new money that continues to funnel into the market when you're talking about sports betting, and you can take advantage of that. So underdogs have really been good over the last 4 or 5 years. I think that continues, so you can take advantage of that. Most people don't know how to factor in lines, and so they're playing just the best team, and that's going to create some value toward the dogs. Also, don't chase the line. Don't chase the money. If you're betting on teams that opened at one number and the general public starts funneling in on them, they typically don't do well at the tune of about 40% over the first week or so. So try not to, and Teddy's exactly right, whether you're new to this or just excited because it's back, you don't want to go crazy here and dig yourself a hole that you're going to have to deal with here over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, because the more information you get as a bettor and as you guys get, obviously you understand why the lines are set the way they are and you become a smarter bettor.
It's a marathon and not a sprint. You want to think long term.
Sure, and people talk a lot about, oh, this is a trap line or something like that, and it's settle down. Lines are where they're supposed to be. Recognize the sharp money is the one who influences point spreads far more than the public.
All right, well, thanks, fellas. We're going to get more into this in a bit. This is definitely like Christmas morning for Las Vegas sportsbooks, unwrapping a new season of football. Mariah is at the Superbook Westgate Las Vegas with more.
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with Executive Director of Superbook Operations, Mr. John Murray. It's great to see you. Now, we are headed into week 1 of the pro football season. Considering there hasn't been any play yet aside from preseason, what are week 1 lines based off of?
They're based on last season. They're based on team history, player history, especially the quarterback. And it's based on what we saw from sharp bettors throughout the summer. We put these numbers back up in April, May. They've been being bet all the way through till this week. And we really look at what those sharp players did and who they bet. That helps sculpt the numbers quite a bit.
And is there anything bettors should consider before placing their wagers for opening weekend?
I'd keep an eye on key injuries, contract holdouts. Chris Jones and Nick Bosa come to mind. And just look at the way the lines have been bet throughout the summer and throughout the preseason should give you some indication of what's going to happen in week 1.
And lastly, any matchup that stands out to you on this slate of games?
I'm going to go with Green Bay and Chicago. It's one of the key games in the afternoon, and it pits two bitter rivals from the NFC North. But the most interesting thing is the quarterback matchup. Jordan Love replaces the legend Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Fields is getting a lot of hype in Chicago. Fans there are expecting a lot more from their team in 2023.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. All right, thank you so much, John. Dave, we'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, thanks, Mariah. Up next, Brandon Marshall will tell us which defense he thinks will reign supreme this season. Plus, can Sean Payton fix Russell Wilson? Jack and Teddy have circled 4 games they really like this weekend.
Yet to break, Philadelphia has the best odds to win the NFC and return to the championship game. But history says it will be a tall task. How many teams in league history have returned to the big game the year after losing it? The answer after the break. Before the break, we asked you how many teams have returned to the championship game the year after losing it. The answer, 8. Dallas, Miami, Minnesota, Denver. Buffalo went to the big game 4 years in a row and lost all 4 times. And then most recently, New England, who beat LA the year after falling to Philly. That one felt good.
Our very own Fat Jack knows the pain of coming up short. Jack finished runner-up in Oklahoma's Sexiest Dad contest. How about that, Jack? Oh, wait, there were only 2 entries. Oh, well. Hey, scan that QR code on your screen. It will take you to our website, beattheoddstv.com. Poor Jack. Now let's bring in our champion, Brandon Marshall. He won a ring with Denver back in 2016. Brandon, as always, great to have you on the show.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great to be back.
So as a player, you know, put us in your brain back in the day and the guys now. What's this first week like for you guys?
Oh, man, a lot of rest. You know, I mean, these guys haven't played a full football game in a year, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, training camp, obviously they had preseason games and they played against other teams, but to play a full 4 quarters, I think conditioning comes into play, certain rest as far as technique and fundamentals. You know, I think they're going to spend some of the first game trying to get all that stuff back. So it's going to be tough.
Kind of retraining the brains to go full speed again. Yeah. Now, last year I asked you this question, who you thought the dominant defense could be, and you picked the Philadelphia, and it turns out to be true. They had a great defense last year. Is there a defense you like this year that you think could kind of rise up to the top and dominate again?
Absolutely. I like New York. You know, I mean, the fact that Aaron Rodgers came over, it's going to help that defense. Now, they were good last year, right? Mm-hmm. But the problem is with Zach Wilson, you know, turnovers, interceptions, and they're on the field more than they should be. Aaron Rodgers should sustain drives, and that'll help the defense rest, and they're going to get back on the field, and they're going to dominate. They have a lot of talent from the top to the bottom, so it's going to be good.
I want to ask you about the Aaron Rodgers factor. You played in Denver with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, huge presence in the league, as is Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. How can that affect a locker room? How can that alter a team?
Oh, it brings the morale up, you know, because now well, first of all, you believed before, but you really believe now.
Right.
And, you know, having a guy like, you know, Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning in that locker room, you just believe that you can win the big game. You just know that, you know what, we can do this. So that's going to bring the morale of the team up.
Sure.
And they're going to score more points, and that defense is legit. So they will stop people. So it's going to just bring that. It's going to elevate the whole organization.
Now, as a Denver guy, you are getting to do something really cool for their game against Las Vegas this weekend. What is it?
Yeah, well, you know, it was a big honor for me. They decided to let me come out and do the coin toss for the season opener. They said I played for Denver, I played for Las Vegas, and they thought it would be a perfect match. And it's my birthday, right?
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah,
my birthday too. Yeah. We share the same birthday, by the way.
Absolutely. So that's a big honor for me.
All right, heads or tails? What do you have any strategy?
Tails never fails. That's
tails never fails. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be watching Brandon flip the coin. Thanks as always, my man. Well, now let's say hello to Oklahoma's second most sexiest dad, the man who makes the dad bod the rad bod. Jack is talking about football hangovers.
Yeah, somebody needs to tell me to put down the pretzel. I mean, that is definitely my October body. It looks like somebody blown me up with an air tank. Week 1, I go with pedigree. All right, we're looking at New England. We're looking at Pittsburgh. Let's start with New England. Not only is Bill Belichick, he and his girlfriend broke up. I think that's better as a team. Fewer date nights, more time in the locker room getting ready for the game. This is a New England team I think is going to improve simply based on another year of living without Tom Brady. I mean, it seems like forever ago, but as they've gotten deeper, this is a team that's gotten a little bit better. Their quarterback situation has been better. I definitely like New England plus the points here. Also, the championship loser in the last game of the season last year does not bode well against the number the following year in week 1. 3-15-2 against the spread. I think that's where we're heading with Philadelphia, a below average performance. Pittsburgh, similar. Mike Tomlin's incredible against the number, incredible as an underdog. San Francisco obviously gets Bosa back. I'm not delighted by that, but I definitely still like Pittsburgh. This is a team that always outperforms the market. Tomlin 52-29-5 against the number as an underdog. Has not had a losing record in his career with Pittsburgh. I think that they pull the upset here. There will be some underdogs in these spots that win. I think they're certainly primed for that.
We probably have a lot of new gamblers out there, Jack. Do they kind of fall into the hype train in terms of, oh, those teams were, made it so far last year that they're overvalued this year?
It's definitely that. You want to go off what you saw, that recency bias that we'll talk about a lot next week and this week in college football. That's primarily where people end their handicapping if they don't know what they're looking at. That becomes a problem, creates some value with the underdogs, and some of these teams that are a little uncomfortable to walk up to the window and bet will get it done.
All right, Teddy, I know you have a couple games you're looking at too.
Sure, and of course last year was last year. This year is this year. Let's start with Tennessee and New Orleans. I'm going to look at the under in this ballgame, under 41, and it's real simple. The concept, the fundamental handicap here, we have a weak Tennessee offensive line against a strong New Orleans defensive line. Advantage, defense. All right, the weak offensive line, and Tennessee might have one of the, if not the weakest offensive line on paper heading into the season. On the other side, it's the first game in a new system, in a new offense for Derek Carr, who was great here in Vegas, was solid in Oakland. But first game, we do expect some red zone issues, perhaps, from New Orleans in this one. And let's not forget, last but not least, both these teams play at a slow pace. Last year, Tennessee number 31, New Orleans number 25 out of 32 NFL teams. I'm not expecting a whole bunch faster play this season. Then we talk about Las Vegas and Denver. Las Vegas plus the points. Look, the last 10 meetings, Denver has 0 meetings by more than 3 points. Week 1 divisional dogs. Jack just talked about how good the dogs have been week 1. The best subset is week 1 divisional dogs. And of course, I understand Peyton, probably a better head coach than Nathaniel Hackett, who was maybe the worst coach in the league last year. Nonetheless, you're asking a team that was mediocre at best to lay more than a field goal. How much better are they going to be in 23? Maybe a little. I don't think they're more than 3 points better than Las Vegas. Give me LV plus the points.
What about the coin toss? I mean, we just heard Brandon saying he's going to get to do the coin toss. Should we put a number on the coin toss? He said tails.
Yeah, I like tails.
He's rolling right now, absolutely. He's showing up and going to get it done. Tails never fails.
All right, thank you, fellas. We know you guys love making those player prop bets, so will Aaron Rodgers go over or under on his passing yards this week? Teddy and Jack will debate that. Plus, it's prime time, baby. Mariah will tell us how Coach Prime and his college team is setting the betting world on fire right now.
Before we take another timeout, Seattle's stud running back Kenneth Walker III ran for 1,050 yards in his rookie campaign. It marked the second time ever that a Seattle rookie eclipsed the 1,000 yards rushing. Who did it first? Find out after the break.
You're watching Beat the Odds, sponsored by Superbook Westgate, Las Vegas.
Before the break, we asked you, before Kenneth Walker III, who was the first Seattle rookie running back to go over 1,000 yards in year 1? The answer, Kurt Warner. And no, not the famous St. Louis and Arizona quarterback, the Seattle running back who rushed for 1,449 yards in his 1983 rookie season. All right, while the focus of this show is pro football predominantly, we'd be remiss not to mention the phenomenon that is taking over the college game. It's officially Coach Prime era in Colorado, as Deion Sanders has taken his University of Colorado program that went 1-11 last season to now opening up this season with a huge upset over TCU, in turn becoming ranked in the AP poll. This massive shift is having an effect on the betting industry as well. Colorado now has more money coming in on it than any pro football team other than Kansas City. As we head into week 1 of the pro season, the books are seeing more interest in Colorado's game against Nebraska than any of the pro matchups. And it's opening weekend. Not only are people rushing to bet on the Colorado-Nebraska game, but the public is going all in on Coach Prime's squad, with 80% of money coming in on Colorado. As for the big picture, after the win over TCU, more bets have been placed on Colorado to win the national championship than any other college team. Move over Georgia. Bookmakers first felt the Prime effect in the winter as the 2023 college football season odds were posted. Colorado opened up as a giant long shot with 300-1 odds, but enough bets came in at those long odds that multiple books entered the season with Colorado as the biggest liability when it comes to the Natty Champ markets. Now, the books aren't too concerned at this point with Colorado winning the title. Their odds are still triple digits, but Heisman Trophy odds, those have made a seismic shift. Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders, mini prime if you will, who passed a school record of 510 yards, saw his odds for Heisman move from 100-1 to 28-1 at some books. So as you head to the betting windows to place your opening weekend pro bets, maybe consider a Colorado wager while you're at it.
Ali Frazier, Tyson Holyfield, and now Teddy against Oh, man, intimidating. We're unveiling a new segment today. Now, these two aren't boxing. They're just debating. We're talking, keep the crane kick to yourself, buddy. We're talking over-unders on player props. A lot of people like player props. So let's start with Seattle running back Kenneth Walker. Teddy, you get us started.
Sure. Kenneth Walker III, we like him over his rushing total this week, 62.5, 63.5, somewhere in that range. Real simple. We're betting running backs over their total. We expect the team to have the lead. I expect Seattle to have the lead this week. And let's not forget, LA's defense. 6 players last year played half their defensive snaps. 0 of those 6 return in 2023. This is a rebuilding defense. Kenneth Walker over his rushing total.
Jack, your rebuttal.
I get Aaron Donald up front causing all sorts of disruption, and also I love Sean McVay with time. I think this game is lower scoring and closer than the market predicts. McVay 5-1 against the spread his last 6. That's a lower scoring game, and that's going to keep rushing down.
All right, let's do another guy. This guy's kind of like the straw that stirs the drink, to steal a line from Reggie Jackson back in the day. Aaron Rodgers, passing yards, over, under.
Where you going, Jack? Me?
Yeah, I'm going over. They didn't bring Aaron Rodgers to New York to do laundry. I mean, they brought him there to throw the ball. I mean, so I think 37 to 40 attempts per game. I think they'll use him as a running tool as well. They can throw dink and dunk. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he is the most accurate. I think lots of short passes send his totals over. I will take over on in the game.
No. Aaron Rodgers, look, you can play public plays sometimes, all right? But on the first Monday game of the year, no, I'm not doing that. And it's the first game in a new offense against an elite defense. I'm not expecting miracles here. And, of course, let's not forget New York's offensive line, shaky in August. We'll take Aaron Rodgers under his passing yards.
New York is expecting miracles, and with Aaron Rodgers, they might get it. I think there's lots of yards.
Speaking of laundry, who cleaned this shirt? I mean, woo, sparkling.
I've thinned out a little bit. This is not Oktoberfest, Jack.
It's all those crane kicks you've been doing in the offseason. All right, thanks, boys. Appreciate that. Still to come, Teddy and Jack will have their best bets of the week.
Before we take our final timeout, 2 teams are tied for the largest Week 1 margin of victory in league history. Who are they? We will tell you after the break. Welcome back. Before we went to break, we asked you what 2 teams are tied for the largest Week 1 margin of victory in league history. The answer, Atlanta in 1973. They blew out New Orleans 62-7, and Houston in 1961. They destroyed Oakland 55-rip.
Houston might not score that many points this entire season.
Probably not.
Hey, check out our Beat the Odds
Look at
football.
her.
So cute. Welcome back to the show and welcome inside our football cave.
Yes, it's the best place to be right now, and it is best bet time. Teddy, get us started.
Sure, let's talk about Seattle and LA. And no, I'm not going to ask them to win by 55, but I think they can win this game by 5.5 or more. Look, sometimes you bet with the trend, sometimes you bet against them. We talked about divisional underdogs earlier in the show, and we like divisional underdogs in general, but here's one spot where I'm willing to fade that trend. Why? Playoff team versus bottom feeder. The very bad versus the pretty good. And laying less than a TD week 1, I'm interested. Seattle, 3-0 straight up and against the spread in week 1 the last 3 years. McVay and LA, a little bit too much respect in the markets. Seattle minus the points. Jack?
Note to self, I look like I'm wearing a Snuggie. I mean, I'd hate the way this looks on me. I've got to figure out something different to wear.
You want to borrow my vest?
That or I need to cinch. I need a belt or something because this is not a pretty look for me. But I do think I have a winner here today. Tampa Bay plus the points. This is one of those spots. I think Minnesota is going to be better than most of the market thinks. But some of these quarterbacks that have changed teams will come out and play better than what the market's projecting. And I think Baker Mayfield can certainly be that in that situation. New environment, new scene, new coaches will help him. He's not a horrible player. Also, we've talked about underdogs the entire time. Love underdogs in week 1. They're hitting about a 61% clip, especially when they go on the road. Give me Tampa Bay plus the points at Minnesota.
All right, well, now it's time for our nemesis, and we're not talking about Jack's shirt. It's the wheel of keeping it real. It's our heads on a Vegas-style slot machine. Today, the wheel will reveal who amongst us has the cheapest haircut. Let's spin it.
We already know I'm out.
Yeah, we know it's not Mariah.
Set of the century. Yeah.
That's a shocker.
I was the favorite.
I honestly thought it was going to be you, Ted. I'm sorry.
Since I stopped using the machine and went to an actual person, it got more expensive.
My barber will not be glad to hear this.
Oh, well, hey, the hair looks fantastic.
Why think?
And Jack, the shirt's just fine, my man.
This is one and done. I'm going to
What's
start
your
wearing.
compliment for me? We're going around the circle.
You always look great.
Ah,
what are we
thank
supposed to
you.
do?
Thank you. Oh my
We're the
God.
thorns, you're the ropes.
Wow, that's why I'm here.
Well, big thanks to you guys. Big thanks to you guys watching at home. And good luck. Enjoy week 1. Pro football is back, you guys.